My topic was assigned to me is role of PET and SPECT in the evaluation of myocardial viability before subjecting the patient to PCI, that is called percutaneous intervention. So what is happening in the present day clinical practice or a cardiac practice all over the world, all over India, that every patient of acute MI, when they come to the cardiologist, particularly interventional cardiologist, they usually take the patient and do a primary angioplasty. Because time is muscle and muscle is time. So sooner is the better. So if you revascularize the patient very early, then the patient would get benefit 100%. But if still there is a delay of couple of hours and primary angioplasty usually done in those patients, then the problem comes. What problems? Because the dead infarcted myocardium has been recanalized by drug-eluted stent or balloon so that the blood supply will be restored. But if the muscle is dead, the blood supply will not be restored at all. So what is happening? They are doing lot of primary angioplasty, but the patient used to go home. Then after a maximum 3 to 4 weeks time, they come back to us and they with a shortness of breath or heaviness in the chest, and then we do a PET scanning or a SPECT myocardial perfusion scanning to find out whether and how was the angioplasty which was done when the patient had suffered a heart attack. But it is very alarming to know that, and it's a concern that there are fixed defects at the stress and at the rest, and the myocardium is dead. But if the myocardium is dead, then what the angioplasty is doing and what the angioplasty is going to give benefit to these patients? Nothing. So what is happening in my nuclear cardiology practice, I usually see 2 to 3 patients every week. Those patients, they come with after the angioplasty, and we find that there are dead myocardium and there are fixed defect. So the patient is going to continue lifelong medical treatment, and they will be depending totally on the medicines with their symptom things. So what is happening is here that if suppose the patients of ST elevation MI, you can go ahead with a primary angioplasty, ST elevation plus the symptoms limiting to 2 to 3 hours, but as compared to non-ST elevation MI with symptoms of heart attack more than 4 to 5 hours, don't attempt to do a primary angioplasty. It is not going to benefit the patient. Treat the patient conservatively, and then after the patient is settled, then send for either a SPECT myocardial perfusion scan or a PET scanning to find out the extent and assess the amount of myocardium which has been involved. If suppose the myocardium which has been involved, still the myocardium is viable, healthy, please go ahead with the angioplasty or bypass surgery, so that this type of particular patients, they would get benefit out of angioplasty or revascularization or CABG surgery. Similarly, in chronic stable angina patients, what I have been seeing for last 36 years, they have been taken to the cath lab and doing a coronary angiography followed by angioplasty without assessing the viability, without assessing the viable myocardium. In chronic stable angina patient, it is a mandatory requirement that the patient should go for a myocardial perfusion scan or a PET scan, depending on patient can afford or not afford, and see that there is viable myocardium. Then those patients should be subjected for angioplasty or bypass surgery. Don't do a cosmetic angioplasty only for cosmetic purpose. It should be always for the benefit of the patient. That is my conclusion of my today's presentation. Thank you.